Welcome to the Coquitlam Whiskey Barrel Podcast with your hosts, Uncle Corey and Uncle Dono.
Recording off some bullshit.
He left his Stanley Cup back on the ice in 1980.
It's embarrassing.
Let's give Corey a round of applause like you were the fucking service staff at a wedding.
Who shot you? Separate the weak from the obsolete.
I didn't even notice you saved that. Did you save that for that?
I've been waiting.
Mine's full.
Not enough ice rattle?
Not enough ice.
When you take 5 weeks off,
yeah,
you don't get as much of a... I don't know what to say, but... It's going to be tough. This is going to be a rough one.
This podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but people are listening. So whoever's listening, guess what? You're on the ride for a shitty ass podcast. Welcome to the Whiskey Barrel Podcast.
Like, it's unfortunate because after the first episode, we've been trying to hire a new producer.
Yes.
Because Angela, obviously, we're still not allowed to talk about it. There's still stuff tied up in the courts and everything like that.
Hashtags and such.
Yes, but Samantha, we brought her on.
Yep.
And then she didn't have work for a month.
Yeah.
So she left.
Yeah.
And now we're back to square one.
Yeah.
Still looking for a producer.
It's fine. It's fine. Somebody will step up. Somebody will fill the shoes. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm also not like too excited about it. You know what I mean?
You will be happy to know that over your hiatus,
yes,
I was approached by a few different members of the Whiskey Barrel League. I'll leave their names out of it.
Okay.
To ask if they could just co-host or
fill
we should
my
just
shoes.
do one. And I didn't respond kindly.
Well, the thing is that, welcome back, Don, obviously. Mm-hmm. But the reality of the situation is that not only are my feet size 13, these shoes, it's tough to fill them. Like, somebody else, I guess, could kind of come in and piecemeal some bullshit, but are they going to have the insight? They're not a guru.
No.
There's two gurus.
Yes.
And it's for sure not whoever it was that asked you to come fill in. Right? And that's the problem when it comes down to it at the end of the day is maybe you want to see yourself on YouTube or hear yourself on SoundCloud. That's not my problem. That you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion. And shut your mouth. So that's anybody who wanted to come in and try to take this from the king. Problem is that you took some shots and you missed. So next question.
The biggest question is you were just on a 3-week honeymoon in Europe.
Yes.
And
I'm gallivanting, as it were.
Yes. And you had to maintain a roster of players because you're the general manager of a professional team, a fantasy football team.
Of course.
And you're 1-4.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sully
soon to be.
Yes.
How did you find? Were there issues while you're away? Was there no? Do you understand what I'm saying? Was waiver wires an issue for you?
Okay.
What happened?
Okay. So.
What's got us to this point?
While I was there, and I'm not trying to make excuses, I'm just explaining the situation. So while I was away for the last 3 weeks, my bill is always, whenever I go away, it's always a roam like home, quote unquote. And it's $10 or $12 a day to act like you've got your phone on normally. Great. I'll pay that. Not a problem at all. So I get the text that says roam like home, do that. Great. Turn my phone on, fantastic. It happens to be a Thursday night game. I'm in another shitty league that we've talked about before, and I don't want to get too deep into it, that they've locked me into a group text, but they all have iPhones, and I don't. So what happened is I got, and because I'm not in their group text, I got 66 incoming messages after I'd been messaged while I was asleep by Fido saying, hey, you're no longer on this plan because I was really roaming. And I had reached $130 in roaming in one day. So I couldn't, and I didn't have Wi-Fi on the cruise that I was on. So I wasn't on the same timetable. I didn't have Wi-Fi, and during the the bulk of my vacation, I didn't have internet at all. So, like, I didn't even know, like, when I saw the Pats had lost to the Lions, like, I was upset about that. But I had seen that we had lost to the Jags. And you know me, I'm a Pats fan first, I'm a fantasy fan second. And, like, I was behind on that. Of course, they've righted the ship. I'm hoping to right the ship. No excuses. I always start 2-5, 1-4 every year. This is what we talked about last year. It's what we're talking about this year. Don't worry about it. I've already tried to make some trades, make some moves, but it's a weird year.
Plenty of game left.
I know, and I'm not giving up by any stretch of the imagination. That's not what I do. But it's a lot. Like, it's just a. This is one. This is when you dig the heels in and you try to make it happen. Lots of people, they phone it in at that point. I'm looking at the scores right now. I'm second most points in the league. 465. So.
Well,
third.
You got to scroll down to my team.
What are you? Where are you? Yeah, you're third.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
that's why we're not worried. You're 1-4. I'm 2-3.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned whatsoever.
Yeah, but it's still we're not standing at the top of the hill singing. We're at the bottom trying to march up to the top of the hill. But Nightingale's looking good. This is a quick aside.
Sure.
For no other reason other than
I guess I don't know how to put this.
Go ahead.
Sometimes champions benefit from being a champion.
What do you mean?
They just have that championship mentality, and the players that got them there before will get them there again. Your team is your team; they'll get you there.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. If you're a championship team one year, you're a championship team the next year.
Right.
But everyone knows about that Super Bowl hangover.
Yep.
And resting on your laurels at 4-0, 5-0, just because Pat Mahomes is doing it right now, it doesn't mean he's going to be doing it 10 weeks from now.
Right.
So don't get comfortable, Nightingale, because there's a bounty on your head, as your team name states.
Yeah.
And everyone's coming for you. No one's afraid of Hinton, but...
Well, Hinton lost this week, right?
He also can't spell, so no one is really afraid.
Hinton tries to be clever, he's just not. Full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about Nightingale is he does have the most points for by quite a bit of a margin.
Yep.
But he has the second lowest points against as well. So
he's had the easiest schedule.
So he's got the easiest schedule, and he's got the most points for. But again, most points for. So you can't fault him for that. Gone are the days that Mr. Cox used to have 300 points for and 75 points against after 8 games. Like, he couldn't figure out that to save your life.
I had most points for 2 years ago and lost in the first round. So
yeah,
it's any given Sunday. It happens to everybody.
But again, it's time to get up and go. Like, we got to start doing things here. Like, this is not, again, like I say, like, I'm third or fourth for points for. I'm gotta be in the top 3 for points against. Looking at this, I'm actually number 2. Yeah, I'm number 2 for points against, other than Mikey. Mikey's had a tough roll. But yeah, like, what else? Like, I don't know. Sometimes you just can't win, but it doesn't mean you stop trying.
Of course not.
Like
we always say, if you got a team that's putting up 95, 100 points a week on most weeks, you're going to be okay.
If you can get 105 points, you're laughing. Like, that just is what it is. One thing I wanted to talk to you about,
sure,
and I actually wanted to save it for the podcast, so this is completely blind here, is I think that I fucked up, and the reason is that we so casually and callously voted before the season started to get rid of kickers, and I think that that's a bad choice. If I could rescind my vote, I would. I would not.
It didn't pass anyway.
We got rid of kickers.
No, we still have kickers.
Sorry, I apologize. Not kickers. Keepers. My bad. Sorry.
Keepers.
And keepers, I don't think that we should have. And I'll tell you why. Because there's something about, as somebody who relies heavily on trades, and everybody knows this about the league. This is nothing new to anybody. This isn't, breaking news. But I like trading. I think that trading is probably the best part of the game. I don't like the idea that it's, you draft and then people fall in love with whatever team they drafted and they don't move anything. And then if you get a Nightingale situation where you're like, well, this is my team, and look at you, you fall ass backwards into 500 points because Patrick Mahomes turns out to be good. And all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, well, if you're just going to be stuck with drafting, and that's not a shot at Nightingale because he has tried to make trades with me and we have went back and forth, and he's trying to be active. So it's not that. It's just, it lends itself more to the teams that draft and sit are way more important than making moves and being active, because you can still make that trade with somebody on your, not on your way out, but just for depth in the sense of, because whenever I start with a record like this, which is basically every single year, is I always have to go, okay, well, I'll make this trade, but in the event that this doesn't help this year, I've got to think about it next year. Now we've completely removed that. What is the benefit of Nightingale making a trade at all at this point? There's none.
Well, we've looked at his team, and his depth is quite poor.
He's got terrible depth. He could drop every single player on his bench, no problem.
My argument to you is you kept 2 players this year, and you're 1-4. So, did that really benefit you, or should you have
but I traded one of the players already.
Who did you deal? Sorry,
Kamara.
Oh, Kamara. Okay, yeah.
Who's the number one player in fantasy? But I'm trying to make moves. But that's just it. So when I'm trading him away, in my head I'm going, well, at least he can use him for the. And then it's like, oh no, he can't even use him for next year. So what's the benefit in not just worrying about waiver wire bullshit in the last, 13 to 16?
I've got 2 arguments against.
Go ahead. I'm willing to hear. I'm just saying. It's just I just didn't think it when I was voting against, because I'm guilty. I voted against keeping keepers, but I'm just saying I didn't think of it in that sense. It adds an extra layer. It adds an extra element. And if we vote on it again next year, I will vote to.
And I think that vote will come up. So one thing that came up with the keeper issue was that at the end of the year, teams that were knocked out were trading a boatload of players or quality for one player that maybe was hurt all year or whatever, and stacking one team.
Of course.
So that was a
negative effect. And I totally get that, but we also had the other vote that if there's a player on IR or anything like that, you can't trade them, which I think would have been enough.
I think
now that I'm thinking about it, that would have been enough to negate that, because I know what you're saying. Yes.
Or once you're out of the playoffs, you can't trade anymore, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So there are things that need to be reworked in the keeper rule, so I think starting anew and starting fresh next year, and then instigating a new keeper rule will benefit the league more than just continuing on the same path. And so I think we need to just cut it off full stop and then start again. And
if we're going to introduce it with some caveats, because honestly, because here's the other side. We hold this league in high regard.
Yes.
We care about this league. Mm-hmm. I'm in 5 leagues. This is the one I care about the most. I have no shame about that. I have no qualms about that. But the reality also is that, well, if we all think that we might go to Vegas next year for the draft, if we all think that we're all going to be in here, if we value it high to try to get into this league, well, that means we're thinking long term. We're thinking more long term than we are short term. So we don't need to think of it as a redraft league every year just because we like each other and we're pals and we have this stupid league and this stupid podcast. But it's that if we've got that, we need to think long term with our teams a little bit more as well. And I'm just saying, as somebody who likes to do a lot of trades, I would like to be able to go, okay, well, at least I'll give these 2 for this, because I hope that helps me win. But if it doesn't, I'd like to help next year, because I'm not trying to play for playoffs. I'm not trying to for the little round robin when it comes to the playoffs. I'm not trying to get first pick. I want 12th pick because I want to fucking win. But it's also, okay, well, it's nice to know that you have a Kamara and a Hopkins to start next year with. And I just think that just adds another dynamic that we just really quickly just got rid of. And I think that we overlooked a lot of things. So I'm with you. I think that it needs to be re-looked at. And I agree. That was my big problem, was that I don't think like we should be able to trade in the offseason. We should be able to keep 2 wide receivers or 2 running backs or 2 quarterbacks if you're feeling frisky. I don't really care, but I'm just saying it's that kind of part. I think we kind of fucked up, myself included.
The biggest problem and with our keeper system is your keepers are more based on luck than on actual management skills.
Right.
And it's, most of the keepers are guys you drafted in the first or second round.
Sure.
Almost all the keepers are that case.
Yeah.
Or they are some guy you picked up off the waiver wire who turned into some stud.
David Johnson or Alvin Kamara or something like that.
Odell when he was
right.
Came out, right?
Same thing. Yeah.
There's no talent that way. So in other leagues that I have, you can't keep guys that you draft in the first 3 rounds.
Sure.
And you can't keep guys you pick up off the waiver wire. So if you have the insight and you've done some research and you draft Alvin Kamara in the 14th round last year because you had a hint, you had a whatever, that shows at least some talent and some insight.
Yeah.
And then you should be able to keep that guy. That's good GM work.
Right.
Drafting Todd Gurley first overall and then you get to keep him for 2 years.
Yeah.
What is that?
Sure.
All you're doing is rewarding someone that was shitty.
Yeah, okay, but
you know what I mean?
Yes, you're right. That's a good point. But then again, now you get to trade the Odell Beckhams, and they get to get kept.
Sure, but I think there should be some thinking into your keepers, not just blind. Oh, this is obviously a no-brainer, easy keeper.
These 2 are ranked top.
Yeah.
15.
So what I would suggest is we have a keeper round, where say like the 5th round of the draft is a keeper round. Or the 4th round. So you can't keep anyone you drafted in the top 3 rounds. But say you drafted that Alvin Kamara in the 14th 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, in the 4th round of the draft, that's your pick.
Oh, well, that's an interesting.
So it rewards you for drafting very well. It rewards you for having that insight. But it doesn't just, I was so shitty, I got to draft Todd Gurley first overall this year, and I get to keep him for the next 2 years.
Right.
That doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. It's like the inverse of a waiver wire thing that it pisses me off.
Exactly.
Right.
So I am all for a keeper rule that benefits the people who work hardest at it, who do some research, who are thinking about the draft months before, who are looking at players and looking at options and taking flyers on rookies and trying to find a guy that's going to be a hidden gem. Yeah. Those are the guys we want kept. No one wants to see Todd Gurley sit on someone's team every year for 3 years. Todd
Gurley and Antonio Brown. Yeah. You just have him for 3 years. Yeah. That's fair. That's a valid argument. I just think there's a lot in the logistics of that to actually implement anything like that. There's
a lot of work behind the keeper rule that needs to change. I don't think it should be the same as what it has been.
No. I'm into reworking it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's why I think starting anew is a good idea. And I, like you, next year will vote to have keepers.
And then we just have a discussion about what that looks like. And I'm totally fine with that too. I'm just saying, I didn't realize it until, I was trying to trade Kamara and I was looking at Nightingale and he's got Ingram and I was like, well, how do I get Gurley? And then I was like, well, if I get Gurley and I do that, and then I'm like, well, is he going to trade Gurley? Is this and this? And I'm like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. We don't get to keep him, so it's just this year anyways, and I'll get a chance at Gurley next year, or he'll get a chance at Kamara next year, or whatever, right? Like it's.
So for me this year, I should have kept Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because it's like I've had him on my team for 2 years. It's like, I kind of want something new.
Yeah.
So I dropped Gordon knowing that I was going to be able to draft Saquon, who are similar players and probably similar ranks, similar points. And it's like, do you want to sit and have the same guys every single year? Probably not. It's good to change things up. It's good
but I'm just saying, you're in this league next year, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so am I. So we're invested for next year. We could have some players that are invested for next year as well. That's all I'm saying. So it's just a different way to look at it.
We should be able to trade in the offseason. We should be able to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that this league can still grow. It's still new.
Yeah.
But next year's 10 years, and we're going to go draft in Vegas.
Now, Judge Kavanaugh, how do you feel about that?
Well, listen, okay, this is episode 2. We don't get into the real stuff till deep in the league when we got nothing else to talk about. Or you and I get knocked out of the playoffs.
We're a third of the way through, man. It's my fault. It's not your fault. You've been here chomping at the bit. I've been the one.
We made an effort. We made an effort to pod while Don was in Europe. It couldn't come together. The internet connection on the open seas is terrible,
abysmal.
And we made our best effort for you, but we couldn't get it out to you. So we're going to make it up to you now, and we'll be on every week moving forward.
Yes, 100%.
So we got 2 things to accomplish today. We'll look at everybody's team, where they're at, where they sit, where they're going forward. We've already opened up the box, and we've got some messages we can get to. The phones are open currently, so feel free to call in.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. I think we just run through the standings, Don, and we just...
Okay, sure.
We go top to bottom, and we dress them down.
Okay, so do you want to include the wins today? We should, I guess, right? Okay, so you want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
It doesn't really matter. Pick a team.
Okay, so let's go top. So number 1, Team Bounty Hunters, Corey Nightingale. Got himself a bit of a team. He's putting up some points, relying heavily on Patrick Mahomes and Todd Gurley. Nothing wrong with that.
Todd Gurley's been lights out. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has been lights out. Can Gurley keep up that standard? Who knows? And as with everybody, you're one knee injury away from really ruining things. Does he have John Kelly on his bench? No.
Or Austin Eckler? That's Chargers.
Yeah. John Kelly, no, but it's okay because he's got Dalvin Cook's handcuff.
Yeah, he's got Marlon
and
Mack.
A second tight end, and Buck Allen, and Dede, and Marlon Mack, who's out.
And David Njoku. He's got the number 32 ranked tight end, while he's also got the number 1 tight end in Eric Ebron, but he doesn't have his backup for Gurley.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So feel free. He did get Mark Ingram back, who he drafted early and was holding on to him for a while, so that actually paid off for Nightingale, which was good. People who drafted the Edelmans and the Ingrams and the Aaron Jones have been waiting for him to get back, so for Nightingale to be on a good tear was great. Yeah. Ingram got 2 goal line carry touchdowns today, which helped out big time.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
He had a fumble that he recovered, though, and he looked good recovering it, as shitty as that sounds.
That's a weird thing to say, but...
Because he dropped it, and there was 3 defenders basically on the ball, and he got underneath all of them. It was actually pretty good. I was pretty impressed with watching it.
Anyway, so the only advice basically we have for Nightingale is just don't get comfortable. Make sure you're always working the waiver wire. You have a great starting lineup right now, but work on that depth. Yeah. Is Burita healthy? He did his knee twice in the last 5 weeks. Be careful.
Yeah.
And if you, as soon as you catch Nightingale on that KC bye week, he's going to be in tough. So maybe start thinking about that, Corey.
Yeah. All right. So that's Mr. Nightingale.
Do you have anything else to add to that?
That's I'm actually fine with that. I think he's doing well. The champ is looking good. He's got big points. He keeps putting up big points, but it's easy to get comfortable in that situation. So that's just it.
Just make sure you're...
That's not a chirp.
Just keep your head in it. Don't get too high. Keep your head in it every week, and you're well on your way.
Yeah, okay.
Go back to back.
So number 2, the piece of shit of all time.
Can we talk about what's his name about?
Matt Bryant.
No. Say it again.
Matt Bryant.
No. Read it.
I'm reading it. Matt Bryant is an
Where's
okay
the R?
cooker. Oh, shit.
Matt Bryant.
Matt Bryant is an okay kicker. Jesus Christ, I can't even read.
With a picture of Mike Evans as his thing.
Well, if Hinton is anything, he's a homeless person. He doesn't have a laptop, a desktop. Basically, the fact that he's got any type of internet connection is astonishing, because the fact that he's got Mike Evans as his picture, doesn't have Mike Evans, and we chirped him about this last year too.
I think so.
See, here it is. There's a lot of people that are involved with this league that play victim. They be upset with the things that we say, and how harsh we are sometimes, and 9 times out of 10 we're just fucking around and busting balls. But we did this last year, so now that we have to come down on you again, and now you're going to be upset again that Mike Evans is not on your team, okay? Matt Bryant's name, even though I can't read and can't see Y's or R's anymore, doesn't mean that while you have Matt Bryant as Atlanta's kicker on your team, you can misspell that and still get any respect. Now, you lost this week, Hinton, and guess what? I'm not even mad.
That trend's going to continue.
It might. Well, he's got Hunt, Kamara, Thielen, Woods, so he's benefiting off of the Rams.
Did Woods not get hurt? Oh, no,
no,
that was Cooks and Cup.
Cooks and Cup. So he's going to benefit off that big time. His team's actually not a little bad, but he's got Des Bryant on his bench.
Still.
So he's exactly like Nightingale.
And an empty spot.
Yeah. An empty spot, Mitch Trubisky.
Taywan Taylor. He has backed up Kareem Hunt.
Which is, I drafted Spencer Ware for him.
Right. Yeah. We also have to remember that he didn't draft this team.
Neither did Sully, who's the next best team we're going to look at.
Yeah.
So 2 of the top 3 teams were drafted by us.
Yeah.
But Mike Davis, I don't know what you and your Birds are doing, or if you're a Seahawks fan this year or not. I'm not sure. I guess it's only if they're winning. Same with the Eagles and the Falcons.
Mike Davis had a big week last week because Chris Carson was out.
And Carson was in this week.
They
and
just
here we
hate
go.
Rashad Penny.
12 for 68. Hinton doesn't have him either, though. And Taywan Taylor, he had 1 point this week. Good work, Hinton. So this is another guy who will just set his lineup and just start him.
He's been banking on the points that Kamara's been putting up, but Kamara had a down week this week with Ingram back, of course. And Thielen has been a top 5 wide receiver, so
Kamara really hurt him.
Yeah.
That's tough. He just traded Marshawn Lynch and Julio Jones for Kamara. That's tough work. Ravens D, that's probably bailed him out of quite a few situations here. 15 points.
20, 15. Yeah, he got a couple of bonus points from them. And Matt Bryant, I guess, did okay for him.
Matt Bryant is an okay kicker. Does he just sit and chuckle by himself? Do you think that's what happens?
I assume so. I mean...
Do you think that he just rubs his chest because of his heartburn and then chuckles because he thinks he's funny about kicker jokes? Is that what a regular day looks like for Hinton?
I guess that's
all I can think. And he goes,
how much thinking did it take to come up with Matt Bryant is an okay kicker?
How much thinking does it take to change your fucking profile picture because you don't have Mike Evans?
I didn't even know you could do other profile pictures. ESPN has some loaded, and you just take one.
Have you
Does
seen
anyone
mine?
care? Yeah, it's a chalupa in space.
Yeah, with Batman.
Yeah,
that's a whole thing. Yeah, it was creative.
So that's Hinton's team. It's I don't know.
It's whatever. Look.
No one's afraid.
Either way, it's gonna come off shitty considering we both have losing records, talking smack about all you idiots. But
hey. No one else is here.
But you're still here, aren't you, you fucks?
Well, the phones are open and no one's called.
Yeah. We're crazy people. Okay, so Hinton's up next, and then we will be going with...
You thought it was Sully.
I think it's Sully. I still think it is, because Sully, after beating me this week, will be 4-1.
All right, Mother Tucker.
So here we go. Old Sully.
I don't understand that name either. But...
Mother Tucker? Because he's got Justin Tucker, I assume. Yeah, he does. This is his kicker.
Okay.
And Samuel L. Jackson is his kicker because he says motherfucker.
Right. Yeah.
And Sully's scared to swear on the internet.
How
or
is
something?
Sully 4-1?
Because
Calvin Ridley.
J.J. IR. What happened to him?
He tore his ACL.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
I've got him in a league. I didn't start him, but I didn't realize that happened.
Anyway, he tore his ACL. So Ajayi's done for the year. So Sully's going to need some running back.
How did Sully win? Calvin Ridley.
That's what I'm telling you.
100% Calvin Ridley.
Yes.
12, 33, 17. He came way
0
back down.
and 4. Yeah.
Yeah, he came way back to earth. I think Mo Sanu had himself a little bit of a game. But Sully's bench looks okay. And he's got... No, let's get into that. But his bench looks okay. He's got Keenan Allen on the bench. His boy Larry Fitz on the bench. When Nightingale's boy Matt Breida goes down, he's got Alfred Moe on the bench.
And Breida is hurt right now, so Moe might be the big pickup, or would have been the big pickup of the week. But
and now that we get to Pierre Garçon, should we talk about the blockbuster trade that Sully and Kurt just made?
No, we're not talking about that trade.
Yeah, if you guys are listening, what the fuck what is that?
Like one top 100 wide receiver for another top
100? Why don't we
100?
just not... none of us want to see these guys on the waiver wire. We'll just put them on each other's benches.
Those guys, I'd drop both of them if they're on my team.
And cry sadly.
How did Pierre Garçon do tonight? Monday Night Football, prime time.
3 points.
Sully, just drop him. I don't know why you traded. Just drop.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? So he's got a little bit of depth. Jay Jai, so he's going to need a little help with his second running back.
His second running back right now is Blunt or
is
Morris.
LeGarrette Blunt. Oh, God, Saul. You're lucky you beat me.
No one's sure how Saul's 4-1, but hey, any given Sunday, man, you just need to get hot at the right time.
He's on his way to the playoffs.
We've had back-to-back years where the 8th seed has won the ship, so just get in and you never know.
Big Saul, he's on his way.
Also, coincidentally, up for Father of the Year for 2019.
I don't. Like, it's going to be tough to beat him, to be completely
Well,
honest.
I mean, the reigning defending champion's pretty high up there. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, those guys, like, it's a walk-off. Like, it is kind of what it is to a certain degree. Okay, so after Sully, what do we got here? We will be looking at...
And then it just gets down to tight. It's a tight race after that.
I think it's going to be Perry. It's going to be Perry.
Okay, we'll get into the king and his men.
The king and his men, Perry. Wow, getting talked about in a positive light on this podcast. It's very rare.
The one thing that Perry did, and he did it at the draft, is he got rid of Nick Chubb in a deal that netted him TJ Yeldon because he had Fournette. So Perry at the draft righted his wrongs. He should have drafted Yeldon as a handcuff, and he didn't, but he cleared up that mistake. And it's paid off for him because when Fournette isn't playing, he can slide Yeldon in.
Yeah, of course.
He basically gets the same
It
points.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, he hasn't suffered, which is what we tell everyone to do.
He screwed up a little bit. Like, I don't know why he's not believing in the truth that is your boy.
Well, I think that because we haven't been on the podcast for the last 4 weeks,
Motivating
he really hasn't. I mean,
like, why is he believing in Dion Lewis? Okay, so Perry has started Dion Lewis 5 weeks in a row, 17 points, great, 4 points, 4 points, 6 points, 2 points. While your guys' boy, as much as we like to joke around,
like I don't even need to.
You've watched him, right? You see how smooth those routes are.
I don't
right?
need to even tell Perry who to play in this matchup.
Yeah,
he needs only to listen to who he should play in this matchup. Do you not agree?
I'd like to hear it. I don't know if you noticed. That's smooth.
That's smooth. Like a fine scotch, like a proper 12.
Like a proper 12, that's a word. That's a smooth route. And that's what Kenny G does. But he's been putting him on the bench, but he's been winning in spite of that. He's also been benefiting off of home and road Ben, who's not actually shitting the bed like he usually does.
Ben's been fine because their defense is so bad.
He just has to huck it, chuck it football. He drafted Sony Michel late, Devontae Adams, Brandon Cooks, like Travis Kelce. Always a strong tight end, just like we were looking at with Nightingale, with Eric Ebron. A strong tight end. That's why the Gronks of the world, the Kelces of the world, the Zach Ertz, that helps you when you have an advantage at that position. Especially considering it's tough on a lot of other positions, especially when you're starting your flex as Dion Lewis. So I'm not mad at Perry this year. He's got himself a little bit of a team, and he's not getting cheeky. I don't know if I haven't gotten any shitty defense for my starting running back trades from him. So,
well, he's got Ben and he's got Matt Ryan sitting on his bench, which we always hate just having a waste of time on your bench, right? Like, why are you wasting points? There's opportunity there. And if you keep scrolling down, he's just hanging on and praying that his Vikings D is going to turn it around at some point. But 5 games in and they're in the bottom half of defenses.
They had 16 points this week, though.
Sure, that's fine. But he's got the number 2 ranked defense. So
yeah,
why is he even holding on to 2 defenses?
I don't know.
No one knows.
But who's struggling here? Like, who needs a quarterback bad enough that
no one.
Matt Ryan, because the quarterback is deep. I know that's the problem.
So pick up another running back. Like, get a flyer. Like, you can drop these guys to the waiver wire. No one's picking them up.
I know. I don't hate Perry's team. That's all I'll say.
All right.
I don't mind shitting on him.
I just hate Perry, so that's so I gotta hate his team. I think it's. Oh no, we don't have another.
So
team
next, I believe it's not. So then we will go to. You just lost, but 2-2. So let's just go with.
We can talk about
Meat?
Yeah, we could talk about a meats team next. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
We'll save yours and mine till the end.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
So, well, yeah, I'm probably going to be at the end anyways because we're going.
The first thing I'll say about Team Amit is, unfortunately, he found out 10 minutes after the draft was supposed to start that he had to draft a team. So
yes.
I will give him a break that way because maybe he wasn't as prepared because I know he relied on his co-GM quite a bit.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, he's the better looking man.
Relied on hashtag that guy did everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did win the coin flip in the keeper portion when he got to keep Zeke over AB, which I think I would keep Zeke over AB anyway. So I think that benefited him.
Yep.
But his team needs some help.
Yeah.
I don't know how invested he is, but
I don't know.
His wide receivers are great.
Yeah.
Zeke is up and down, and he's been hanging on with Tevin Coleman because Devonta Freeman's been out.
Yeah.
So Freeman's back now, so Coleman, again, you platoon him. Like, you want Coleman in your flex. You don't want him as your number 2 running back.
You got 3 points this week.
Yeah.
AJ Green, Stephon Diggs, you like that? I tried to make a trade for AJ Green. He didn't like it. It is what it is. Zach Ertz, so he's got top 3 tight end probably. Corey Davis in his flex. He's got Chris Carson, who's, I don't know, again.
Seahawks running backs, like, why it's
12 points.
So hard to play.
He offered me Chris Carson and Stephon Diggs for Kamara. And if I would have started those two, I would have beat Sully. So I don't know what to tell the meat right now other than...
If it was AJ Green...
and Chris Carson, would I have taken it? Probably. But I took Marshawn Lynch and Julio Jones.
You took a similar trade.
It's very similar. Oh, yeah.
Almost the exact same, I'd say, across the board.
Yeah.
But just a big Seahawks guy. He's got Brandon Marshall and Tyler Lockett sitting on his bench, just hoping that they do something, I guess, and Chris Carson. So he likes to keep his bench stocked with Seahawks and then actual football players.
Like Brandon Marshall. How quickly do you scroll past Brandon Marshall when you see him on the waiver wire? Like, what's going on here?
I'm pretty in the 3 other leagues that I'm in. He's definitely on every waiver
wire.
Or
Josh Doxson, who's got 1.3.0 points by, didn't even get a catch.
Let's pull up the waiver wire right now and let's just see
who Amit should drop all his entire. Well, he's got Rod Smith, so there's a smart owner there.
Yes.
He's got
he drafted Rod Smith.
He's got Zeke's backup, so he could get rid of Funches, right? Like, is Funches doing anything? Okay, keep Funches because he's getting 6 points a game.
Okay, do you want
but Doxson,
do you want Josh Doxson or Robbie Anderson?
Well, Robbie Anderson had a monster week this week.
I'm just asking, but
I'll take Anderson. Doesn't matter. But he had a monster week this week. That's bias. Anyways, next.
Well, okay. Him or Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah, I'll take Aguilar too.
Mohamed Sanu? Jamison Crowder.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I would actually. Yeah, Kirk is. I've got him on 2 teams. And he from Arizona. Yeah.
So there's lots of options that.
Yeah.
He should be looking at.
Yeah, but
so,
get rid of Brandon Marshall. Get rid
of Brandon Marshall. Get rid of Josh Doxson. I'd pick up 2 running backs.
I would rather just see him have blank spaces.
Yes.
Blank spaces. Yeah. But don't worry, he drafted Steven Gostowski real early. He's the number 14 kicker. Well done. But that's just, again, that's just this sour grapes old man talking from the fucking back of the bus. Okay, so then that's a meat. So then that would be...
Paul Lalonde?
Bonjour.
Saw Paul Lalonde the other night. Looks good, as always.
Yeah.
Happy, healthy. It's always good when Paul Lalonde comes out.
Yeah, he's
not often, but he's around.
But he's just a positive guy. He just doesn't sweat the small stuff. It's tough to rattle him, and I appreciate that. Like, you can give him shit, he giggles. You don't have to. You don't have to worry about. He's like, "Whoa, my father of the year or not?" It's like, fuck off. Like, just calm down. I didn't talk about anything.
Yeah.
Paul's just like, hey. I had some poutine and I like the Montreal Canadiens. Bonjour, and you're like, Okay, Paul, this is a fun time.
That's exactly what he sounds like.
That's a great Paul Alon,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you do a great Paul Alon.
Yeah. Oh, tabernacle, and here comes the poutine. How's that?
Yeah. I'm not impressed by your performance.
Not impressed by your performance. I'm the 170-pound champ. Right? That's good, Paul.
That's pretty much Paul in a nutshell.
That's I don't know how many times I've heard him say that, but I think that's right on point. Anyway, so let's look at his team. Cam Newton, typical. Philip Lindsay, didn't draft, picked him up. Naeem Hines, didn't draft, picked him up. Cooper Kupp, this is what he's relying on.
He's hurt now.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't look like he is. He's not on the... But yes, him and, like we said, him and Cooks. Cooks got murdered. Kenny Stills, drop him.
Cooks hasn't been the same since Malcolm Jenkins buried him in Minnesota in the Super Bowl of last year. Like, he dug a hole and put him in.
Yeah, and I was so mad about that. Mm-hmm. Whatever, it doesn't matter. When you guys were all like, oh, I love it. I love that the best offensive player's out. This should be a fair game. Kenny Stills, 22-1, 12-4, 1. Kenny Stills, welcome to Dumpsville. Kyle Rudolph's having himself a fine time.
Kenyon Drake, get out of
what
here.
Are we
Why?
Doing? 17.5 points this week.
Okay, but what has he done before then?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And
he does have the number 23 ranked defense.
Oh yeah, 6, 13, 1, 1, 17. And he's got the Panthers. Well, he's just cheering for his... I don't mind homer picks in fantasy sometimes, unless it's just getting in the way.
So he got kind of hooped with Lev Bell. He didn't draft James Conner, but he wasn't there anyway, so it's his own fault for not being there. And it is what it is. He does have Corey Clement on his bench right now, who looks to be the starter when he comes back and is healthy.
So who the hell got the carries after Ajayi got hurt if it wasn't Clement?
Smallwood was the only other healthy guy. No, Sproles was hurt this week too.
So Wendell Smallwood, is he available?
I assume he must be.
He's got to be.
It'll be Clement and Sproles. Mm. Duke Johnson, welcome to Dumpsville.
Mike Evans, he's got some depth there. Like, get rid of Stills, start Evans next week.
Had to start Stills because Evans was on.
It is what it is. And Nick Chubb, he's got all other than like the fact that I have Carlos Hyde. He's just got to be upset that he's got Duke Johnson and Nick Chubb, and I've got Hyde, the only guy actually getting points in the backfield. Okay, so that's Paul's team. So keep riding on Cam there, Paul, and
wish you all the best.
Yeah, good luck, Godspeed. So then
Team Friendly, I guess.
So
we'll go next. Who won this week?
We'll go to old Brad Friend, and he had a big week against Paul. That's great.
Brad is a boomer bust team.
What the fuck is the picture of this dog?
I guess that's his dog, maybe.
I know Brad has a dog.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I think it's a girl. He's always got her getting babysat by like every homeless person on the street. I'm not sure. He's always was like, would you babysit my dog? Would you babysit my dog? And I'm like, I hate dogs and I don't want to see your dog. And he's like, well, I got to go to work. Could you babysit my dog? I'm like, Brad, you got to work 5 days a week. He's like, yeah, I'm going to need a babysitter for that dog though. And I'm like, get over your fucking dog. So if that's not what his dog looks like, and he's just trying to represent the fact that he has a dog, find a new hobby, Brad. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, 15th overall this year. Like, can we talk about how Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the support that he needs, although he got 39 points this week.
Just the Packers haven't been the Packers, man.
They haven't since Aaron Rodgers, they haven't since 2015, 2014.
I blame Olivia Munn.
Oh, why? Because she's hot?
Yeah, and he stopped banging her, and now it's over for him.
No, isn't he banging somebody else who's super hot?
Oh, is he? I don't know. Maybe. I
think his new lady is super hot too.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's Olivia Munn. Yeah, Olivia Munn's hot. I'm not gonna get into details. She's hot and cool. Adrian Peterson, James Conner. So here's the benefit. That's what Brad's got. He's got James Conner.
Yes.
And
he's had 2 monster weeks.
Yeah, who he should trade.
And subsequently have been 2.
Who he should trade to Paul right now for whatever the hell he can get. Antonio Brown, Keelan Cole, Jared Cook. Jared Cook, again, like we're talking about, winning teams with a strong tight end. Jared Cook, 2 points this week, but he's had a couple big. Actually, only 2.
No.
I thought he was having a really, really strong year.
The tight end position this year is right.
He's the number 1 tight end.
Yeah, because he had 2 good weeks. He scored in 2 weeks.
And he started Shady on the only week that Shady actually had a decent one. T.Y. Hilton's hurt. He's got Greg Olsen.
He's got 3
Geronimo
tight ends on
Allison.
He's got 3 tight ends on his team.
Yeah. So he needs to. Him and Paul need to figure out how to get Lev Bell onto one team and Kenyon Drake into the other, and then they can make a move with James Conner and Lev Bell. You know what I mean? Like, because Brad's got Frank Gore as well. Like, what are we doing here?
Brad needs to try to parlay Aaron Rodgers or Carson Wentz into something, because sitting on two tight ends on your bench, like, get out of here. I don't know what he's doing. I really don't.
Yeah.
He's got 3 tight ends on his team.
Yeah, that's outrageous. It's outrageous.
2 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. Don't even get me started. At one point, he had 2 defenses.
And Vance McDonald, the hero of last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And then 0.6 points.
When the Jags have a bye, he'll have 2 defenses, 2 tight ends, and another quarterback on his bench, and no depth. So no one's afraid of Brad.
Yeah,
Friend
but Brad
and a shitty dog pitcher.
Yeah, but the thing is, Brad Friend is not scared to do a trade. He'll make some moves.
As long as that player's not in his heart.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I think we're at Patterson. We've got to be.
No, Kurt's got to win.
Kurt?
Oh yeah, Patterson got to win. You flip a coin. Pick one.
Let's go with Patterson.
Okay. First win of the year. Good for you, Brad.
136. Powerful.
And he took down the 4-0 Hinton. So
everybody wins today.
He's got his boy Phil.
It's Phil Rivers. He loves Phil Rivers. David Johnson, who's been underwhelming, if I should say so.
But actually has started to pick it up as of lately. So.
And he had a nice game this week.
Yeah.
And
he's turned it around.
But that is what it is. Rosen's taken over, and they've started to be a little bit more dynamic. Derrick Henry, is
Dumpsville.
Is that he's welcome to Dumpsville for sure, right? 3-6-5-3-5. Yeah, welcome to Dumpsville. Beckham finally had a game that people talk about.
Well, you figured out he should throw for a touchdown instead of.
Well, Eli's terrible, but Brad knows that. He's a Giants fan. Demaryius Thomas actually had himself a game.
Well, Keenum's been awful.
1-6-2-16. Good work, Brad. With Demaryius Thomas. ASJ. Injured reserve.
Yeah, he's done for the year. So
and Evan Ingram. So let's see if Brad holds on to ASJ.
And Evan Ingram.
And picks up another.
No.
See, Brad Friend, trade with Brad. Let's figure this out, guys. You got 4 tight ends apiece. Crowell, who I just gave him, had himself a weak 29 points. The Jets can run the ball. 219 yards. That's rushing.
And I don't even know how much he had receiving too, but it was even more than that.
Nothing. So don't say that.
Has he caught a ball this year? No. Bilal Powell.
He's got the Rams D. And whatever kickers. Allen Robinson on the bench. Rashad Penny. Kirk Cousins. I'm in a bunch of leagues with Brad and Perry and Mike and the like, and they all love Kirk Cousins.
But won't start him? Or
none of them are starting him. They're all trying to trade him. Yeah. They're all jumping off the Minnesota bandwagon.
As quick as they possibly can.
As if it's the Titanic and it's only women and children.
Yeah.
One thing about being a Pats fan that I run into all the time is these Eagles fans, is these Falcons fans, is these Seahawks fans, is these Minnesota fans. It's like these guys have one okay year and then they start to fall off and then you don't see them anymore. That's the one thing as a Pats fan, I have to live and die by it. And now it's the Colts
beginning
fan.
of the end of the
But
Pats.
You know what I mean? Like, it's always, you see what Belichick did? Yeah, I saw. Why were you paying attention? And I'm sorry that my team made it to the Super Bowl 3 years out of 4, and your team made it once, and it was the greatest thing to ever happen to you, and then they didn't make the playoffs the next year. it's like Minnesota. I'm trying to cheer for Minnesota. I like Minnesota, but these Minnesota fans, you know who you are, Perry, Mike, Brad, and yeah, I don't hear it. I just don't hear it, and I feel like I'm ringing the bell more for them than they are because Dalvin Cook's having an off year or whatever.
You stayed at Sam's last year during the drubbing,
yes,
during the beating,
yeah,
through the skull chant, into the Foles chant,
yes,
and everyone else left.
Yeah.
They're just me and you and that guy wearing that T.O. jersey at the bar. Having a good time.
Yeah.
So Brad's got his first win. Hopefully he can roll a little bit. I do think he should probably try to maybe deal David Johnson. Yeah, and try to get another running back and a wide receiver out of it.
Like David Johnson and Demaryius Thomas. What do you think you could get for him? Because he can't get shit for Henry, so he's screwed there.
Maybe he goes
and
to
he's
Paul.
got no other running backs.
Maybe he goes to Paul and trades David Johnson for Lev Bell and something else.
David Johnson for Lev Bell. But Lev Bell's not going to start for 2 weeks. So why would you... He needs to win now. This is the problem. Like, Paul tried to deal me Lev Bell, and I was like, I need to win now. I can't play this game. If he gave me James Conner and Lev Bell, that's another story.
Yeah.
So David Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, and what do you give him?
Would you have taken David Johnson and Demaryius Thomas for Kamara?
No, because Demaryius Thomas didn't have more than 2 points other than this week.
David Johnson, Demaryius Thomas for Zeke?
No.
David Johnson, Demaryius Thomas for Melvin Gordon?
No, stop saying Demaryius Thomas. He's the number 55 wide receiver. He had this, like,
Odell,
12, 1, 6, 2, 16.
Odell Beckham for Royce Freeman and a middling wide receiver.
Okay. Demaryius Thomas. Odell Beckham and... Okay, well, Odell Beckham and David Johnson gets you anybody.
Gets you anybody.
That's
gets
it.
You Todd Gurley.
That gets you Todd Gurley and whatever. Some plug. Like somebody, like a...
Todd Gurley and the number 20th wide receiver. Something like that.
And I'd take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Like, who's got Gronk in this league? Do you have him?
Yeah.
So, what about... Okay, well, let's look at your team. So, Brad, congratulations on the win, man. Good work. All right.
Glad to see he got off the schneid, as they say, and hopefully he continues to roll.
I don't know what the schneid is. I don't know. Is that a reference to something?
It means you haven't won, or you haven't scored, or you haven't done anything. Or...
Is that a soccer thing?
It's a
football thing?
It's a sports thing.
Well, I never played sports.
It shows.
Okay, so you got Gronk. Okay, so here we go. So Julian Edelman. I'm just reading your team. So Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
David Johnson.
Yeah.
For you only have one tight end. You don't even have.
I have Gronk. Why do I need another tight end?
You don't. I completely agree. Okay.
I'll pick one. I'd pick one up though.
Okay, so David Johnson, Odell Beckham for Jarvis Landry and Saquon Barkley. That's tough. For Saquon Barkley and Rob Gronkowski. So you keep Jarvis. You get David Johnson.
I think Gronk's a better receiver than
Beckham. I'm just saying that's the conversation.
Don't you?
If I have Gronk, I just don't trade him. I made a bet the other day that Gronk's gonna be a top 3 tight end regardless of what happens. And
what's he at now? He's been terrible, and he's still a top 10.
He's been terrible. He has been.
And he's still a top 10 though. Is what I'm saying. Like he's.
Yeah.
It won't take much to get into the top 3.
Yeah, he just needs a 1-2 touchdown game, which is 4 for 56 and 2 touchdowns is not against Gronk.
Yeah.
Especially with Gordon out there, especially with Edelman out there, especially with we're rolling. The Pats are rolling. We don't give a fuck anymore. So David Johnson, Odell Beckham for Alshon Jeffrey, Gronk, and Jordan Howard.
Yeah, I think about yeah.
That's the kind of trades I make.
That's in that area.
I'm playing 4D chess.
That's in that area. Yeah. That makes sense. I'd have to scrounge for some tight end off the waiver wire.
Whatever. Who gives a shit? You find one.
Yeah. So, Brad, there's the deal. I'll do that trade.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm just saying, like it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's
I take more risk.
Like, who's got Matt Ryan and
Perry has Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, and like.
But I've got the number 3.
No, I'm not mad at your quarterback. I'm just saying it's just shocking.
I've played 5 weeks and I've had 3 different quarterbacks start for my team.
Great, it's fine. And there's 25 good quarterbacks and there's 12 teams in this league.
Oh, Garoppolo tore his knee. Okay, I'll just pick someone up off the waiver wire. Oh, I picked up Goff and he put up 55 last week.
Yeah.
Okay, that's who I'll roll with. I rolled Tyrod the first week.
All right, so let's look at your team. You're struggling like me.
3rd most points for.
3rd most points for. And I've got the 4th or the 2nd.
Where you and me are both top 5, maybe top 3
points. Okay.
Points for.
Okay, so Jared Goff, you're fine. Saquon, he's doing everything you drafted him for. I 5 leagues. I have nothing to do with Saquon, and
are you upset about it?
No, because I just don't trust the Giants, and I've been wrong. I'm totally wrong on that. It is what it is.
I just knew going in that they were so bad and Eli was so bad and their offensive line was so bad that they were going to dump the ball off.
Well, that's trading to David Johnson.
2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Saquon had 14 catches, like ridiculous.
Like Kerryon Johnson has been whatever.
He got hurt in the week, but I had to start him because Jordan Howard was on a bye.
Yeah, he's middling. Well, Jordan Howard, we'll get to him because he's middling as well.
Middling, yeah.
Jarvis Landry is doing fine.
Jarvis is Jarvis.
Julian Edelman came back. People were pissed off that he didn't. 7 for 57. It's his first game back after a torn ACL and a 4-game suspension. People fucking relax.
The worst part about Julian Edelman's game was on the first drive. He caught 3 passes. Whatever. It didn't matter. So he got 4 the rest of the game after the first drive. That was frustrating because it seemed like he was going to go for over 100.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's just because he got fired up. Yep. Gronk is Gronk. Don't stress it. Anybody who's in any of my other leagues and thinks Gronk is a nobody, please come see me. I'll take Gronk off your hands. No problem. Will Fuller, I don't know. His health is just...
He left this week hurt again.
And so he's just... He's suspect. I dropped the Broncos D. You picked them up. Clearly they didn't...
I needed a defense for the week.
Yeah. Broncos D aren't the Broncos D of old.
No.
Jordan Howard on the bench.
Well, you got to mention my number 1 kicker.
Oh, and you've got the number 1 kicker, Will Lutz.
Is he? I couldn't believe he's actually number 1.
He is.
I
Look at you. You're resting on your kicker.
He's got a bye next week. I'm gonna have to keep him on my bench.
Well, you better.
I'm gonna have to keep him on my bench.
And you should pick up like another kicker.
Yes.
Or 2 tight ends.
Man.
Jordan Howard.
He's off his bye, so he'll go back in.
He'll go back in, but I guess
it's the workload, right? Like he got hurt in that last week was game script, but he's gonna get 20 touches. I don't care.
Yeah. Jamal Williams.
He's welcome to Dumpsville.
Welcome to Dumpsville, even with 7 points this week.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. Alshon Jeffrey. Why didn't you start Alshon?
Xavier Rhodes.
Oh well, and you were right. 3.9.
Yeah.
Really, I thought Rhodes wasn't even having that great of a year.
He's not, but whenever you have a shutdown corner, I'd rather play Edelman. I'd rather play a slot guy.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah.
Mike Williams had lots of hype coming into the year. 3 big weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's been interesting for Mike Williams, but there isn't much on the waiver wire to entice me to drop him.
I hear you.
So
I hear you. Keenan Allen finally had a good week. Mike Williams had a low.
It's the first 5 games of his career, so I'm not getting too excited. And Quincy's the number 1.
My boy Quincy, 0 points today.
I don't think he played.
Why would he? Playing for the Jets.
No.
And the number 1 D in the Bears.
Yes.
The only time it's acceptable to keep a second defense is when you have the.
I literally, if they were number 2, I would have just dropped them.
Yep. No.
And if there was something else on the wire to pick up.
So your team's good. Your team's not. It's not the best. No. But it's not bad. It doesn't warrant what you've got going on.
This week was my worst week, and I put up 90.
Yeah.
And that's.
I put 140 up last week, and I put up 70 this week. So what are we talking about here?
My team has averaged over 100 every week. I'm not mad.
All right. So here's my team. Or are we going over one more? Sorry, I know we just went to yours. Is there somebody?
I think that was it, wasn't it?
I believe so, but
keep scrolling down.
Sully and me.
Oh, we got them. We got
Barry,
them,
Kurt, Brad.
Oh, go luck yourself, Kurt LeBranch. We haven't hit him.
Oh, we didn't hit Kurt?
Nope.
And poor Kurt.
Poor Kurt. So last week, Kurt messaged me after Thursday night when
he messaged us today. He's in the
inbox. He messaged me when Goff put up,
and he's just like fighting.
He's grinding.
Yeah, like he's moving around everywhere he can go. Up, down, in, out, up, down, in, out.
Is that like the special move in Street Fighter or something for Blanca? Is that what you did? Up, down.
I'm just talking about the inbox. Ash's inbox. There's a box that Kurt's playing in.
So last week, Kurt messaged me on Thursday night. We were playing, and Goff put up 54 on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And Kurt goes, "My season's over. This is over. I'm losing this week. I'm gonna be 0 and whatever. I'm quitting." I'm like, dude, pick your head up, shake it off. It's just Thursday night. The whole weekend's left.
Yeah.
I think I might have beaten him by 3 or 4. Like Luck put up 48 or something. Like it was a monster last week. Like we had ended up being a good matchup.
Oh yeah, 48. Yeah.
And he had quit after Thursday night. And I tell these guys, and we keep telling you, don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep scrapping, keep clawing away, keep fighting. He's got Christian McCaffrey and James White. They're going to catch a lot of balls. They're going to run a lot of balls. You got to be confident in both those guys.
Yeah, but he just traded his number 1 wide receiver away. Amari Cooper. But he got Pierre Garçon, so that's okay. Cooper got 1 point.
Kurt needs some wide receiver help.
Note that I want to just be completely frank. I offered Kurt Royce Freeman, Lamar Miller, and Isaiah Crowell for Amari Cooper.
No, you didn't.
I swear to God I did. And you just traded him for Pierre Garçon.
I'd take Royce Freeman for Amari Cooper. I'd take Lamar Miller
do you know what Pierre Garçon just did? Don't give a fuck. Put him on the bench. I don't care. I'm not picking him up. I won't pick up any of them. Amari Cooper, he's going to be... Oh, fuck.
He's got Juju.
People need to stop believing in the Amari Cooper hype. Yes. And at least when there was Michael Crabtree, there was a track record where you could go, oh, at least Michael Crabtree, he's the unsexy Amari Cooper. That's what we kept saying last year. And now Jordy Nelson is the unsexy white Amari Cooper. Like, what do you...
He's got Jordy, though.
No, but I'm just saying...
Kurt's got Jordy.
No, but...
So he's going to replace Amari with Jordy. He'll be fine.
That's fine. I'm just saying in general. People come to us, we're the gurus for the analysis.
Yes.
Jordy, 23, 12, 10. What does Kurt do? Starts Amari, who 1, 18, 1. Like,
no,
what?
Just go back to the start. 1, 12, 1, 18, 1. Looks like this week he should have a good week because it seems like he puts up 1 every other week and then he has a big week.
Like, what are we talking about here? I'm sorry, but Amari Cooper, who's got him now? Sully? Drop him. Drop Pierre Garçon too, you fucking idiots. Sorry. Anyway, Juju, who's having a great little year. I don't know what he had this week. I've got him in 1 league.
He caught a touchdown. Didn't he give birth to the football? Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He rolled around on the ground. That was fun. Hayden Hurst. Who the fuck is that? The 82 ranked overall
rookie tight end. No, he's been hurt the first 3 weeks.
Oh,
4 weeks.
0.7 points. Well, good work. There you go. There you go, Kurt.
Yeah, don't worry, he's got two quarterbacks on his bench, so he's fine.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield and Alex Smith. Kurt, what are we doing here?
He's a Colts fan. Could there be a Colts fan who believes in Andrew Luck less than Kurt?
Yeah, than having
if he's
Baker
got Baker Mayfield and Alex Smith backing him up.
Okay, so here, you're the Gronk owner, or who's got the 3 tight ends? Whatever. Let's talk. You're the Gronk owner. Let's say... Okay, what do we got here? Chris Thompson, he should have had a decent game. I saw him. He was on the field a lot. Oh, okay, 6 points, not much. Okay, so shits and giggles.
I will do Gronk and Alshon for...
Don't look at Hayden Hurst because there's no way
No, I don't want a tight end back.
You'll just
I want McCaffrey and Juju. So I'll do Gronk, Alshon, and Kerryon Johnson.
Gronk, Alshon, and you.
Kerryon Johnson.
You're going to trade him, Kerryon Johnson?
Yeah.
Gronk, Alshon, Kerryon Johnson for McCaffrey and Juju?
Something along those lines. Something in that range.
No, I don't hate that. That's not bad. Sorry, I know this is boring podcasting, but guess what? If you made it this far, you're going to listen to the rest of it too, you fuck.
You don't even open up the box.
Yeah. McCaffrey. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. You play with that.
Something along those lines. Do you know what I mean?
How about Chris Thompson?
No,
and
don't want Chris Thompson. He's a hurt bag.
Got it. How about Deshaun Jackson?
Don't want Deshaun Jackson. He's boom or bust.
He's been pretty lights out as far as I know. 26, 18, 3, 11.
I just look at the catch numbers, right? Like he's.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I don't want a guy
it's
who's
2 for 5 and 2 touchdowns.
I don't want a guy that's doing that, yeah.
So McCaffrey and... Is McCaffrey the number 1 you want there?
If it's just for Gronk?
Yeah. Would you trade McCaffrey for Gronk straight up? Yeah, you would. Of course you would.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about James White and Deshaun Jackson for Gronk? He's got Hayden fucking Hurst.
I know, but Deshaun Jackson doesn't start on my team, so that throwing his name in there's irrelevant.
I hate that you do that, man.
It's pretty much Gronk for James White. That's the trade. Because Deshaun Jackson's not sniffing my... I've got Edelman, Alshon. I've got Jarvis. Like, when is Deshaun Jackson making the lineup?
Yeah, okay, fine. Either way, Kurt, go talk to Sayers. He's got some goddamn... He'll trade Gronk. And you have Hayden Hurst on your fucking team.
Who's your tight end?
George Kittle. The future.
Oh, Kittles and bits.
Kittles. Yeah, I guess, whatever. I don't even know what he did this week. Okay, so now we're down to me. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, backs on backs on backs. You've made some moves.
I always make moves. And Kittle's the future, man. He's the 3rd ranked tight end.
I had a lot more belief in Kittle with Garoppolo. How did he do this week? I didn't see. Okay, yeah, you're fine. Yeah. If you can get anywhere close to 10 points from your tight end, you're laughing.
If I get more than 6, that's the dream.
Yeah, you're laughing.
Okay, so Stafford, Carlos Hyde, Marshawn Lynch, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, George Kittle, Tyler Boyd, Pats D, Mason Crosby. I don't think I have any swings and misses.
Royce has been disappointing for his draft position, but he's been fine.
He's been fine. He's on my bench.
But for a third rounder, that hurt. And it's hurt everybody.
Aaron Jones is on my bench.
Just coming back, yeah.
Chris Godwin's on my bench. Dalton's on my bench. Ryan Grant, I only picked up because before this week, I know everybody everybody hears my team and goes, "Oh, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Tyler Boyd." Yeah. Before this week, I had DeAndre Hopkins and Nelson Aguilar, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I needed some depth.
You made some move to get.
So I got Boyd and Jones. Yeah. So I'm not mad at that. And if I would have started Aaron Jones or no, I wouldn't. Actually, I wouldn't have won with either of them, to be honest.
Why would have Boyd put down 4?
Yeah.
Ryan Grant, he was
5.7. So if
how did Dalton do?
Yeah, if
Stafford?
I would, nothing really.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Are you platooning or like are you flip-flopping between Stafford and Dalton? Are you playing matchups or is it mostly Stafford?
I'm trying to play matchups.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're not worried about your team. Your team looks good. Your team feels good.
I've got 3 pending moves. Would you like to see them?
Pending what? Oh, you've offered players?
So you tell me if I'm overextending or... Well, there's a reason. These guys have taken a look at them. So number 1 is Mike Evans and Le'Veon Bell for Marshawn Lynch and Tyler Boyd.
Paul's crazy to accept that. Yeah. He didn't send that to you, did he?
No. All right, I accepted it right away. I just canceled that because that's drunk Don.
Yeah.
Receive Kareem Hunt for Carlos Hyde and Tyler Boyd. Actually, don't hate that.
No, I don't hate that. That one's fair.
And then receive Adam Thielen for Stafford and Boyd. So whatever.
Whose team is that?
For Thielen.
Yeah, whose team is that? Why would they trade Thielen?
That's a meat.
He's got Russell Wilson?
No. M. Bach. What are these fucking stupid... M. Bach. Who the hell is that? Is that Nightingale?
Matt Bryant is an okay kicker.
Oh.
Hinton. Who's his...
Quarterback is probably what I was looking at when I did that. Oh, Russ. Yeah.
Yeah, that you should just cancel that one. That's a bad trade. Done.
Yeah, it's not great.
So your 3 pending moves, we've just determined are down to 2,
and now down to 1.
When Don's making trades at 3 a.m., just...
And look at that. That's 304, 306.
Yeah, that's a cancel. All right, well, that's everybody's team so far. We just dressed down how bad Don is at trading.
And you don't want to talk about Judge Kavanaugh.
No, I want to open up the box.
Okay, so let's open up the box. So we've got our hands in there. We're spreading it wide because we got to get in. What? No, this is from somebody else. Okay. So here we go. All right. So from Team Go Luck Yourself.
As an aside, he did reach out to me and asked to be the first guest on season 2's podcast. So we'll arrange. We don't have a producer to book guests right now, so that's been difficult.
We're doing double duty.
But we'll arrange to try to get you on next week.
Okay, so he would like to. He says, just discuss how I hate Amari Cooper. So as we just talked about this, how I hate Amari Cooper and Dalvin Cook, and anybody can have them for peanuts. My team shows up just enough to lose. There is no hope out there. Bunch of losers, just like their GM. Okay, well, we just talked about how bad Amari Cooper is and Pierre Garçon, so they could both be dumped.
I'll make a trade for Dalvin Cook with you, Kurt. I'll give you...
Yeah, what would you do? Dalvin Cook, but you don't have Murray. Who's got Latavius Murray?
It would be either like Alshon or Edelman.
Oh, okay. Kurt, if you're still listening, for sure do either of those trades. Who's got Latavius Murray?
I don't know. Somebody who shouldn't. Probably a meat.
Yeah. Somebody who has no intention, doesn't even realize they're on this team.
All right, Kurt. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Sully called 3 times. I just assume it's to talk shit about
beating your ass.
Yeah.
What did he message into the inbox?
Yeah, he said when the fuck is the inbox open?
That was it.
That's it. Okay. Those are the 2.
Oh, and the inbox is closed.
It got worked for that time.
Yeah.
Like in
as
the time,
per usual, it gets worked for 30 to 45 seconds,
and it's fine with that.
Yeah,
it's fine. It will read a book, go on fucking Reddit, and calm down.
Final thoughts. We're gonna get back at it. We effort to be on a more regimented schedule.
100%. We will be here once a week for the remainder of the time. Yeah. I don't know what Sayers is putting on for the pictures. I've got a great one, Perry. Don't worry about it.
We have our own logo now, so it's like...
I know, but I've got a pretty good one for Perry.
Okay, for YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're open to having guests. We don't have someone to book you, so hopefully you just show up at some point.
Yeah, just let us know. We'll try to figure that out, too.
And appreciate any feedback on keeper rules for next year, any trade announcements, any rules we want to vote on, any indiscrepancies. If you just want to shit on the commissioner for being bad at how bad he is, we'll take that too.
The what?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Perfect. We'll call it here. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
And stay tuned. 2 weeks away from On the Road, the classic. Well, last year we had Dubrovnik, Croatia.
Oh, you want to do one from Times Square, New York?
Of course I do.
All right.
We're going to go hot from New York,
Monday
New York.
Night Football. After Monday Night Football.
I'm
with
not
a pie.
mad at that.
We might find some New York gabagool.
We just sit Times Square Wi-Fi and just do it live on YouTube.
There you have it. You heard it here first. We'll see you in New York.
All right.
But before then, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Cheers.